Every once in a while, we are faced with a daunting face-to-face interaction. That nail-biting request for a raise. That heart-stopping confrontation of a superior over something that displeases you. Or the tough moment when you have to bring to an end a long-standing business partnership. When you have to have that conversation, how do you go about ensuring the best possible outcome? Our go-to life coach, Lily Wilsenach, begins by defining what makes for a difficult conversation.
Well, we've all had those kind of conversations where you feel, oof, I don't know how I'm going to approach this. Or maybe it's best left unsaid, what I have to say, because of the weight that that conversation carries for us. Now, there's a couple of things that make a conversation a difficult one. And one of them is if the relationship weighs a lot for you. If it's someone very close to you or someone that has a huge influence in your life, then it's a difficult conversation. Another aspect that makes a conversation difficult is if there could be severe consequences to what you want to talk about. And a third element could be that you're not sure how the other person is going to react. So whether they would embrace what you're saying or be very disturbed or angry about what you're saying, if you're not sure what you can expect from someone in return, that makes for difficult conversation.
When you have finally made up your mind to have that difficult conversation, how best do you now prepare? What do you have to take into account to ensure that you have the best possible outcome?
Having a difficult conversation is really internalizing what you feel about your situation, saying that I am frustrated, I haven't had that promotion yet. I am frustrated because my boss haven't come from his side and opened it up and so that I can have that conversation. And now I can't wait with it any longer. I feel that that conversation should take place, for instance. So asking myself, what is it that I'd really like to put on the table unemotionally? I'd like to say that I think that it is fair that that promotion gets looked at this point, because of the fact that I've been here so many years, that everyone else has been up for promotion, and that I've done the following that should be looked at. So having that conversation, it's almost like sandwiching it. So I start by saying something that would edify that person, that would acknowledge them, that is respectful, or things that I admire about them. I would, for instance, say that I so love being a part of this company. It has become my home and it is a pleasure to work here. And then I give the middle part, which is the difficult part, and say, but I'd really like to put this forward. Could we talk about a promotion? And then end off again with something that is acknowledging or respectful by saying, I'd just like to say that, you know, I would never want to be anywhere else than here. And having a conversation in that way gives me the best chance for a good outcome.
Is there a right and a wrong time to have a conversation based on what you have said?
Difficult conversations require both people to be unemotional, because we'd like to look at it as putting something on the table instead of an emotion that I'm carrying that I want to talk about. So approaching someone when they are in a neutral place would be a good option. If you're talking to someone in their environment, let's say I speak to someone in their home, it's their territory, and it makes it even more difficult for me, because if I say the wrong thing, I'm almost imposing on them in their home. When we want to have difficult conversations, it helps to have them in a neutral place, and when emotions are not high. When I, for instance, pose a question and I can see that the other person feels emotional about it, maybe my boss is angry because I've now spoken about the promotion, it's then good to say, can I leave it with you? Can we take it up again? And rather meet again and have another conversation, but at least I have opened the door and left a breach there by saying that I truly respect and honor you, and I love working here. Thank you that you will have a look at this. And leaving someone like that leaves a door open for you to come back to that conversation.
So what happens now if I have taken this all into account? I've waited for an opportune time. I've structured my wants in a respectful manner, and I still encounter a negative outcome. How best does one handle this from then on?
Most of our unhappiness comes from the fact that maybe I should have done it this way. Maybe I should have, why didn't I just leave it? So having a conversation in this way leaves me with the knowledge that I have done my part to ensure the best outcome for myself. Of course, you will have the boss or the colleague or someone at home that is not an easy person to talk to, or that always gets a certain type of reaction, no matter how you approach it. But you only have control over what you can do, and you never have control over the other person's reaction, only yours. So in order to have peace, that at least you have had a conversation where you have had the best outcome that you could have had for yourself, that at least gives you some peace at the end of the day. I have, however, found that when people have conversations in this way, they have very, very good success. There's very few people who, when approached by someone in a respectful, honoring way, comes back with a negative reaction. Very, very few people will actually do that.
Now, what if you're the person who somebody's coming to you with maybe a difficult request? How do I temper my reaction? How do I avoid being defensive or any other? How do I listen well?
Putting yourself in the other person's shoes, seeing from their point of view, leaving yourself behind for that moment, and saying that I'm really going to just have a look through your eyes at what you're seeing and experiencing, helps us to not be judgmental or not be harsh or critical, but helps us to actually accept and try and understand what they are saying. When we are being inquisitive about what someone is saying, it's hard to be critical and inquisitive at the same time. When I'm saying that I don't have any opinion, it's not right or wrong what you are saying, I'm going to explore what you are saying with you and see where it brings us. I think that would be a very, very good place to start from when you are someone that's being approached by someone with a difficult request.
Having listened to the request, how then do I best deliver my reaction or response, whether positive or negative?
The same way applies, the sandwich way, which says, thank you for being so honest and sincere with me. And then saying what you want to say. I accept what you want, or this is difficult for me at this stage. You are very valuable to us. We love having you here, and I will definitely consider again what you have just said. Let's have a follow-up conversation about this. Would be a good way to end that conversation.
We are aware of some companies where employees are not given a platform to voice their concerns, where openness and transparency are not promoted. What happens in an environment such as this?
Well, when difficult conversations are not being promoted to happen in a conducive way, we have people that are scared. We have a lot of fear coming out because there isn't a place for me to speak easily. A difficult conversation is difficult enough without the environment making it difficult as well. And when that is not the case, when I don't have a safe place or a neutral ground or a meeting where I can have that conversation, a moment with that person, then we do get bottling up and an explosion at some point. That's where you get people in a boardroom standing up and shouting at each other and making comments and remarks because they then have the opportunity to say what they have been bottling for the past 5-6 months or however long it might be. Many people actually want the boardroom meetings to take place just to vent, to have an opportunity to lash out because they can't have those difficult conversations in a way that would serve them.
We thank you so much for your time. Any other words of wisdom with regards to difficult conversations?
Always be yourself, be sincere, speak from the heart, and honor and respect other people, and you'll have success.
After having thoroughly looked into the long-standing relationship between India and Botswana last week, we are certain that the entrepreneurs among us are possibly wondering how they could get in on the action. A good place to begin would be with an organization that has taken it upon itself to facilitate business exchanges between the two countries. Initially proposed to be set up under the umbrella of the High Commission, it was decided that the India-Botswana Chamber of Commerce and Industry, IBCI, should be an independent body, including members of the Indian community and also corporate businesses of other nationalities who have business interests in India or have joint ventures with companies owned by the people of Indian origin. And thus, IBCI began operations on the 31st of March 2009. The chairperson of the India-Botswana Chamber of Commerce and Industry, Mr. Gopal Adanki, and the secretary, Mr. Shyam Srikaram, availed themselves to help us better understand the ways in which the Chamber assists both local and international business people. Welcome back to First Issues. Our guests this evening begin by detailing exactly what the mandate of the India-Botswana Chamber of Commerce and Industry, or IBCI, is.
Well, India-Botswana Chamber of Commerce and Industry, shortly we call as IBCI, was formed in 2009. And basically the goal of IBCI is to play the role of a catalyst between the business community and the government by facilitating the better investment-prone environment in Botswana.
And not only that, to bring Indian businessmen, there are a lot of Indian businessmen visiting here. They don't know whom to approach and the information about this. We provide the right channel of communication. When the new company comes in, they want to know about this country and what are the opportunities here. We give them the information about it, and we prod them to invest here. So that is another thing apart from the communication about the problems which are existing within or opportunities that are existing within the Botswana. When people come from India, orientation is what we do. See, like we had a meeting for 3 CEOs who have come from India, the Managing Director for State Bank of India, and Zindal Group, who are bringing in the power project in near Mahalapi. We had introductory meetings with them, and they met the local entrepreneurs, and they had an interaction, something good will come out of it, because they might be requiring a lot of ancillary services like the insurances, hiring of equipment and all these things. We provide the interaction. We are a body which provide the facilitate the interaction. So they come together, and now it's up to them to take the opportunity, seize the opportunity, and make a profit out of it or benefit from it.
How have local entrepreneurs benefited from the Chamber's activities? Would you say any opportunities have been opened up in India?
We are trying for joint ventures, and in the small and medium sector of business and trade, we are trying to identify where we can add the value from both the ends to make a win-win situation, like in agriculture. You see, there's a lot of technical know-how we can try to enrich from the India side, and also the manufacturing, right? And major groups have come in, they are trying to set it up, wherein the local entrepreneurs can take the growth through the ancillary sectors by providing services to the new industries coming in, like diamond polishing industries. Lots of them are in the pipeline. This is where we come in to give an extra hand to the business community.
We here at First Issues have previously explored business opportunities offered by different international organizations, and we're curious to know what unique opportunities IPKI has created for local entrepreneurs in India.
Well, basically, if you see in the small and medium sector, you have lots of untapped areas in both the economies. If you see back home, like if you see whatever we say a medium scale is done at a small level back home in India because of the development that they have. So we want our people here, because having observed this economy being here over 2.5 decades, we believe that there is a lot of value which we can add by making the Botswana creative in trying to do their self-employment and by making them as successful entrepreneurs.
Do you take as good a care of local entrepreneurs looking for opportunities in India?
We will, and in fact, there are the delegations and missions going. Recently, to the Confederation of Indian Industry conference, there is a delegation from Botswana, they went, and there are many plans and policies in pipeline which can take the people from here. You know that right from the independence time, we have a lot of treaties like in defense, education, health sectors, where there is transfer of technology and also of the knowledge, which has been ongoingly happening. But now we intend to bring it to the private sector, because obviously the diversification of economy is the role of the government also. That diversification can be achieved by trying to bring in the other sectors and bring people into those sectors. We can create so that more employment oriented situations.
In your 4 years of operation, what challenges did you face along the way?
Well, it was pleasant, and we have always had the support of both the Indian High Commission and Government of Botswana, and even during the project which Shyam was mentioning, we had huge support, because as you are aware that infrastructure level we still need to develop a lot of facilities here, but the doctors who have come, they have traveled all around the country and they have identified the people and they have helped. In those things we didn't see much challenges, but always there will be issues here and there, and what we need basically as an IPKI, that is a chamber, is the private sector must be taken into confidence and their expertise must be used in the nation's development, so that we can go in a better way, because you can see a lot of growth in of late recent times in private sector. Now the Botswana has got good infrastructure and there are facilities, and our goal is to diversify the economy. So we need to make hand-in-hand approach both from government and from the private sector. You can take the expertise from various walks of life.
As in last week's conversation with the High Commissioner, licensing and visa allocations stood out as a sticking point.
At times we find here and there, but when the issue is presented to the government, they are always considerate. And we have recently seen a lot of changes in Botswana's economy. If you start with like in the licensing, they have changed a lot of things, and in the visa regulations, and they have been modifying the rules. All these things will add value, and from time to time we will take up the issues so that we will get a positive reply. As such, there are no stumbling blocks.
It's not as if there are no challenges. In every economy, in every place where we go, or anybody goes, new things are there, but if you have a patient hearing from the other side, then the problems can be overcome. It's a smart partnership actually.
For those of you that are passionate about investing in stocks, and those of you that are just curious, this next segment is for you. In the past few weeks, we have taken a look at what stocks are, how they are traded, and the fundamental rules of trading. We have also shared with you what to look for when investing in stocks. This week, Thapelo Theole of the Botswana Stock Exchange instructs us on how the prices of stocks are set.
The prices of shares are normally determined by, number one, how the company is doing. If the company is doing well, and then there are a number of people who are looking to buy shares in that particular company, the price of this particular company is likely to go up. When there is hope among the investors, or when there is more demand for the particular company's share, the price also experiences some pressures and is likely to go up because there are a lot of people willing to buy this particular company, and it will go up. And then also, generally, when the economy is doing well, most stocks prices will tend to increase because they are responding to the potential to do well in future. And then the reverse is also true. When the economy is not doing well, like in the likes of 2008, most companies don't do well. Their results are not well, and then the price will likely to go down. And that is why you see that the price declines. Or when the company releases their financial statement at the end of the year, and they realize that they actually didn't do well enough, their price is likely to go down a bit. But if the company have done well, that will normally get reflected on the price. It will normally go up.
Where do I get this information regarding the price as a potential investor?
What happens on daily basis is that prices of BSE trades are distributed on the internet every day. They are also read out at the end of the television news every day. And also you can also get information from your broker. You can call your broker and ask them the prevailing prices of a share at the end of the trading day. So it is information that is freely available on the BSE website or at your broker of choice.
Thank you for spending time with us this evening. From me, Nameto Sibina, the team behind First Issues, and our sponsors, First National Bank, we wish you a good night and pleasant viewing.